Hello, everybody. What's going on? My name is Form. This is Formcast, episode, I think, 99. I think we are close to 100. Well, that's a lot of episodes. So thanks for listening. If you are listening, I appreciate it. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, today I wanted to talk about, well, no, not the dog, although she is laying down right at my feet. Whenever I'm in my office, she is often at my feet for quite a long time, just snoozing and napping. But then when she wakes up, man, I call her Larry the Land Shark Larry, because she just wants to get into everything. And well, ladies and gentlemen, that's what puppies do. No, but today we're not talking about the dog. I wanted to talk about just general kind of growth as a streamer content creator goes. No tips, no how tos, no nothing like that. Just simply stating a very, common fact, I guess you can say, is the fact that growth in the industry of content creation, live streaming is so kind of all over the place that it's the opposite of linear. By linear, I mean it's the opposite of, if you look at a graph, it's the opposite of it just going steadily upwards for the most part. Some people see that, but I would doubt to see anyone say that they've seen a linear growth and never had any dips or anything like that. There are so many variables when it comes to streaming and live content and making content on different platforms that there will always be these ups and downs, but there's also so many different areas where you can see success, where you could see growth, right? You could even think of it in a monetized success and non-monetized success and growth. What does that look like? Viewer count goes up, maybe your chatters go up, maybe the amount of follows you have go up, maybe the amount of views your content has on different platforms goes up, maybe your Discord member amount goes up, maybe the activity in your Discord goes up, maybe you have more people sending you messages and DMs to collaborate with you, all these things where this does not mean that you'd be making more money. It doesn't mean more subs. It doesn't mean more bits, and doesn't mean more donations. Doesn't mean more paid opportunities with brands and sponsorships. But what it means is that there's a part of growth that is still happening, and it's very easy to see that my sub count's not moving. We're not getting this. The money, especially if you do this full time, the money part of it all is kind of at a standstill or plateauing or very slowly going upwards. Which is still upwards, by the way. But there's all these other aspects of growth, and I think those are just as, if not more important, to focus on. For instance, I could have a stream where I make, let's say, in terms of sub count, 10 subs, but we have a average viewership that is 10 times the amount, like it's maybe not 10 times, but what I'm saying is, if we have an average viewership of 50 rather than like 35 viewers or something like that, let's say, for example, but less subs, it's still growth in the fact that there are more people hanging out for longer durations and not leaving but staying. And that is a pretty huge part of success as a live content creator, live streamer. I think there's so many ups and downs in terms of growth in this industry that in order to focus on one thing, you would really have to just you're really shutting yourself off to actual what growth really means and what it can look like. So it's really important. But if you're focused and you're hyper focused on one single thing, or even if it's just like, "Oh, I need my sub count and my donations to go up, that's the only way I think that I'm growing or being successful," then you're not going to really put the efforts into things like TikTok content or YouTube content, or being active in your own Discord and making member events and community events and this and that, where there's no financial benefit to it, but things need still to be done in order to grow what I call a community, what I call this cool hangout place. No one really cares to hang out with you or support you if all they see are dollar signs in your eyeballs. Kind of makes sense, right? So I just wanted to touch base on that because I think a lot of people who listen to this might have tried streaming or want to try streaming or are currently streamers. Maybe not full time. I don't know exactly who might listen to this podcast that might be a full time streamer. But I'd be curious, actually, if you are and you're listening or you're watching on YouTube, you could leave a comment on the YouTube video for this episode. But the amount of up and down, it really doesn't matter when it comes to content creation. Because I'll tell you what, I mean, you can look at some of the biggest streamers out there. For example, Mr. Kai Cenat, he's currently broken the all-time record. He's at 500 and some thousand subscribers. The all-time record before that was 300, just over 300,000, which is, those numbers are astronomical. I don't know if you understand what that amount is in terms of subscribers, but that's just crazy. So with that being said, it's not like that all the time. Just before this whole, for him in specific, for example, just before this Mafia-thon 2 that he's doing and trying to break the record and going way above and beyond and having all this stuff. And yeah, he's got famous people on his stream and all that. He's huge enough. He's big enough to do that. But before that, he could be under 100,000 subs, which is still a lot, right? When you really consider it. However, it's not 500,000. So that is still growth, but it's an ebbs and flows. It goes up and down. And I think what happens is we are often very stuck in those valleys when they do happen, but we kind of forget that soon enough the rise is coming, and it's very important to look at that. For example, I can go a week where I make a certain amount of money, let's say on live streams, but it was, let's say, I don't know, a crap ton less than what I made the week before. But the week that I made less money, my TikToks blew up. I got more followers on that platform, more followers coming over to Twitch, more followers in the Discord, or people joining the Discord, for example. So there's these wins, and you got to find these small wins, because the small wins, when you collect them all and you put them in a bucket, that's called growth. So when you look at a graph, if there was one for growth as a live streamer or content creator, man, that line would be so zigzag all over the place, because that's what it is. And it's very easy to get discouraged when it's not just a straight up. It's not your regular 9 to 5 where you just keep coming to work. You just keep doing your job. You're going to get a raise. You're going to get a raise. You're doing good. Get a raise, get a raise, get a raise. It's not this linear straight uphill. It's all over the place. But it's very important to focus on what you find as growth, what you find as success, and really harness that in. Now, that being said, I did want to chat a little bit about this mic arm I'm using today. If you're on YouTube, you can see it just a little bit. It's different than the one I have. Why? Because last week, my Rode PSA-1, I've had it ever since I got my Shure SM7B mic. Why? I'll explain. People say, why did you spend $150 Canadian, mind you, on a mic arm? Well, the SM7B is a heavy microphone. It is also a $500 or $600 microphone. It's expensive. So what happened was, I had one of those chintzy Amazon $30 micro arms that kind of look like the Rode PSA-1, but aren't it. And I put it on there, but the mic is so heavy that it wouldn't actually keep it to where I needed it, and it just fell all the time. So I had to buy and invest in a very good mic arm. So that being said, I bought that probably 3 years ago. Well, last week, ladies and gentlemen, for some reason, now I will admit, I like to manhandle my microphone. When things go crazy in the chat, in the streams, I get up with the mic arms going up all over the place, but it's made to do that. There's no adjustment screws halfway through. It's on these swivel little circle joints, and it's perfect because wherever you put that mic arm, the mic stays there. And that's the most insane part of this mic arm, the Rode PSA-1. It's great. So what happened last week? Well, I'm glad you asked, even if you didn't. Last week I was streaming, and out of nowhere, not manhandling my microphone, out of nowhere, the base that is attached to the desk snapped. Now, the base, I will admit, is not full metal. It should be, in my opinion. But it snapped to where what's holding the mic arm flew off. The clamp stayed on the desk, but the top part that sits on top of the desk with the mic arm that sits inside of it snapped, broke, hit me, and I was just left there like wondering what the heck is happening. I was wondering what the heck just happened. I got hit by my mic. I'm glad my mic didn't hit the desk or fall on the ground and break, because that would have been even more of a problem. So I'm sitting here with a broken mic arm. Well, all right. So what do? Well, the next morning, I have to stream. I need a mic arm because the Shure SM7B doesn't come with a stand, and I'm definitely not holding my microphone the entire time, and I don't have a replacement. So I got to get going. No Rode PSA ones in any of the stores that I got in my city. Can I order one? Yeah, it'll take a few days though. Not quite what I was looking for. Can I get a new base? Yeah, it's like $40, $50. Not what I'm looking for. The mic arm itself is $130. So I go to Best Buy, and the only mic arm they have is the one I'm currently using for this podcast recording. I've used in the last couple of days, the Elgato low profile mic arm. Well, let me tell you what, Elgato makes great products. It's super cool. It's full metal. It's got these cool magnetic wire covers that you just stick your wire inside of there, and then it snaps right back on. Here's the problem. It's this low profile mic arm, which is cool. But if you're like me and you like to move your mic around a little bit, it's a mother freaking hassle. Why? At the middle joint where there's two arms connect, yes, you can move it. However, there's a set screw here, or a tightening screw, that when you tighten it, you cannot move your mic up and down. You can move it only away and closer to you. So I can move it, if you're watching on YouTube, I can move it away and closer to me, but I cannot lift it closer to my mouth or push it away. I stand up sometimes when I'm streaming. That means my desk stays down, but I stand up because it's just crazy. I want my microphone to come up with me. I bring it to my face because people need to hear me say whatever I'm saying at the time, but I can't do that with this one. The other thing is the Shure SM7B, like I said, is a very heavy microphone. I've found this mic arm, the middle screw joint that allows the second arm to be raised and stay where you tighten it, actually loosens up enough where it can be pushed down, just like I'm doing now, and the mic lowers without you actually loosening the screw, and then you're kind of like reaching for your mic and it's falling away from you. Then you have to loosen up that screw, raise the arm, tighten it as much as you can again, and although it's made out of metal, it doesn't really work that great. So with that being said, I went to Twitter the same day my mic arm broke, and I was just I took a picture of the broken piece, and I was just kind of playing around. I said, "Hey, Rode Pod, Pod Mics, I think is what it's called on Twitter, their official page." I was like, "Is this a new feature where the bass should snap and hit me in the face?" And funny enough, 2 days later, they responded like, "No, that's not a feature of the mic arm. That shouldn't have happened to you." And they said, "Get into contact with us," and they put a link for their submit a ticket type support on their website. So today, I'm like, okay, well, I'm officially gonna look at this and look into it. I contact them. I submit a ticket. I explain the whole story. I submit the picture as well with it. I do explain that I had to spend $150 on another mic arm because it wasn't a PSA one. I couldn't find one. And I'm shocked, but literally, I want to say 10 minutes later, I got an email from the individual in charge of support tickets through Rode, and said, "So sorry this happened. I'm sending you a replacement part immediately. I'm going to put you in contact with the distributor that is closest to you. Give them your information and all that kind of stuff." So I'm like, okay, cool. Well, in the meantime, thanks so much. And then before I could even send that email, I got an email from the other person, from the distributor, saying, "Hey, so sorry this happened. We're sending you a replacement bass part," because you can just buy the bass part, but it's $50. They're sending me one for free. They're adding a t-shirt to the whole thing. And they're like, "Since you're a content creator, feel free to message or email me." This guy said, his name's Chris. He said, "Feel free to email me separately, and we can discuss any, further things." I'm at a loss for words. I did not realize or did not think that I would get such type of not community, but customer service out of this company, that I'm just a nobody. I bought the mic arm 3 years ago, but it should last forever. And here they are just, a replacement part. You know what? Let's send you a t-shirt. I know it's a t-shirt, but who doesn't love free t-shirts? And the speedy response within minutes and minutes and minutes was all done. It was said and done with. Not to mention, maybe, potential opportunities of working with Rode in terms of giving some sales and discounts to the community members, or purchasing some items that might be beneficial to my stream setup. It was absolutely crazy. So all that to say, if your stuff breaks, if it's a good company like Rode, just like SECRETLAB did for my chair 3.5 years after I've had it, they'll help you out. I was absolutely shocked. So I had to share that story today because it just happened this morning where I was able to contact them and immediately get a response from them and get that replacement part apparently shipped out very, very soon. And you bet your butt that whenever I get that replacement base, I'll be using my Rode PSA 1 and I'll be returning the Elgato to Best Buy. Why? Because it just doesn't really work that well for what I like to use it for. Is it better if someone just doesn't move their mic much and just very super relaxed and chill? Yeah, it's low profile. It's cool looking. It can go probably under your monitors if you're floating monitors or whatnot, but it just ain't for me. So with that being said, lots to talk about, but that's a good thing. Thanks so much for listening, and as always, we'll catch you next time. Cheers.